time to cut off all communication with the outside world. Dust off your old VCR and gather your collection of mixtapes.
Then tease those bangs, put on your favorite pair of leg warmers. The nostalgia bug has bitten, and we're here to scratch the itch.
I'm Odell.
I'm Erin.
It's time to go back where we belong. Howdy, peeps. Welcome to episode 5.
Yes.
We're in.
So exciting.
We're up to our toes now in this
We're
one.
in it.
Whereas the other one, we were over our heads. So, but welcome if you're new to the show. We hope you enjoy your stay. Don't forget to follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening on. And if you like watching your podcasts, check out our YouTube channel. Have all kinds of fun graphics. And I even have a TV style intro.
Adorable. I need to check this out.
You do.
Gosh, I'm so bad about that stuff. Whenever it's our own stuff, I'm terrible about it.
So the movie of the day was released on October 21st, 1988. So let's take a nostalgia trip. Look at what was happening back then. So I was a junior in high school. It was at the tail end of 16 years old. So I had 4 more months until I turned 17. You would have been 10.
I had just turned 10 years old. I was in 4th grade. So this was, October 21st.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Okay. You know exactly what you were doing on October 21st, 1988?
Not on that day. I do know that I was in Carmen at Houston Grand Opera. I played a poor little French boy. And it was not PC. I was supposed to be Spanish. I'm extremely pale and white. Right. They had to color me.
Oh, geez.
I mean, so horribly wrong. So horribly wrong. That was just such the norm back then. So yes, I was doing Carmen at Houston Grand Opera. And this was right before my uncle died. And the last show he ever saw me in was Carmen. So.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know.
And I know it opened in October of 88. So I remember that.
I don't know what I was doing exactly. I just know that I was a junior in high school and whatever. Just looking forward to a year and a half more of high school, and then I could get the fuck out of Idaho. So that's all I know. But fun facts about this month, according to onthisday.com, on October 12th.
Oh God, what?
Pope John Paul II was the target of anti-papal heckling by Protestant leader Ian Paisley at a European Parliament meeting in Strasbourg, France. Who heckles the Pope?
Oh my God. You can do that?
And what do you say? What's considered heckling a Pope? Hope you like your crackers that don't have any taste. I mean, what?
Your wine is shit. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I know of people that's just a funny way to put it, because I know of people protesting the Pope.
Right. But he was heckled.
And this by another person of religious power.
Yep. A Protestant leader.
Man.
Yeah.
That's kind of awesome. I wonder if there's video of that.
I don't know. The Summer Olympics were also held this month in Seoul, Korea. I won't get into specifics on medals and shit because it was the beginning of the month and I don't want to eat up all the happenings in case we come back to this month in the future.
Right.
But going later in the month, Roseanne premiered on ABC on October 18th, 1988. So just 3 days
love
before
that show.
I did too. And I like the Connors now.
I haven't watched the Connors. Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Because she's gone. But on October 19th, Roxette, who I loved, released their album titled Look Sharp. This contained their hits Dressed for Success and Listen to Your Heart.
Ooh, Listen to Your Heart is a good one. Mm-hmm. I told you that with that song, Must Have Been Love, that Emma always thought it must have been love, but it's awkward now.
Which fits.
I think it's perfect.
On October 20th, a man armed with explosives blew himself up in a New York subway station at 125th Street. I don't remember that.
Oh, God, I don't either.
And then on October 21st, which was the day of our movie's premiere, Geraldo Rivera aired a special titled Devil Worship, Exposing Satan's Underground.
Oh, geez.
Gotta love the satanic panic. Even we can't get away from it, even on this podcast.
We cannot get away from that
constantly
satanic
came
panic.
up anytime we covered a case from the 80s or 90s on 6 Degrees.
Yep.
Also,
That
Elton
was
John.
so popular back then. That was such a thing.
And UFOs. Yeah,
yes.
Satanic panic and UFOs. Elton John sold out Madison Square Garden for a record 26th time. And U.S. Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor survived breast cancer surgery on this day as well.
Oh, good for her.
Now, according to the top40weekly.com, the top 10 songs this week were, at number 10, we had The Locomotion by Kylie Minogue.
Girl, I used to dance to that
all
the time
song.
in my living room.
Yep. Number 9, we had Don't Be Cruel by Cheap Trick.
Okay.
At number 8, we had Don't Be Cruel by Bobby Brown.
Yes. None of these are to be mixed up with Don't Be Cruel by Elvis Presley decades earlier. Good Lord.
At number 7, Don't You Know What the Night Can Do by Steve Winwood. Do not remember that song at all. At number 6, we had Kokomo by the Beach Boys, which was on the charts for fucking ever, thanks to Cocktail.
I was going to say, thank you, Cocktail. When are we doing that movie?
Oh, it's on our list.
Oh, my God.
Number 5, we had Wild Wild West by the Escape Club. Remember that one?
Good song.
Number 4, most amazing song ever, Love Bites by Def Leppard.
I mean, come on.
It bleeds. Number 3.
Bringing me to my knees, Adele. God.
Number 3, What's on Your Mind? Pure Energy by Information Society. I remember that song. Number 2, A Little Red Red Wine by UB40. I hated that song. Anytime it came on, I was like, oh my God.
Loved. UB40 was that band that I would never, ever buy an album, but I would also never switch the radio station.
Really? I hated that song.
Ever.
And number 1, we had Groovy Kind of Love by Phil Collins.
Such a good song.
I didn't really care for that one. So each week we both pick a song from that week's top 40 to add to our ongoing playlist. And whoever picked that week's movie gets to add a third song with the caveat that it should be played in the movie at some point. It was in that decade.
Right.
Otherwise we pick our second from the top 40. So my first choice sat at number 39 this week.
Okay.
And it was Walk on Water by Eddie Money.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that song?
I do remember
I love
that
me
song.
some Eddie Money. I loved his voice.
Eddie Money was freaking fantastic. And we've been trying to do some of his music in the band for a long time.
Take Me Home Tonight.
Yes, we have actually done. Wait, did he do 2 Tickets to Paradise? Is that Eddie Money?
Maybe.
I feel like that is Eddie Money.
I think so. So,
okay. Well, mine sat at number 35.
Okay.
It was a little Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses.
Wait, you already have that on the playlist.
Do I have that? It's fine because I have others. I already I have that on like my top.
Yeah, because we started with 10 each.
That's right. That's right. Never mind. Take that out. You know what mine is?
What?
Let me see where it stood. Hold on, because I want to be able to say this. Oh, stood at number 21. Little I Hate Myself for Loving You.
Love that song. That was my other choice for my second.
That is a great freaking song.
Love me some Joan Jett. So I'm going to go with Love Bites for my other one.
That was my third that I had on my list. Yes.
Yep. I chose that as my first pick for second, but then I Hate Myself for Loving You because I thought she's going to go with Love Bites. So I need a backup.
Yes.
All right. So if you check the playlist, they are available on our website. We have one for the 70s, 80s. Then we have one for 90s that tickles into the 2000s too when we do movies from that decade. So you can access them, the links from our website, and you can download and subscribe to them on Apple Music or Spotify. All right. So, by the way, last week I chose Set Adrift on Memory Bliss as my song. But when I was searching to add it to the playlist, it's not available anymore because I guess there were rights issues or something because that song heavily samples True by Spandau Ballet. So I switched my song last week to Can't Let Go by Mariah Carey.
Okay. What year was that?
1992. I also have a throwback toy, one that was
Ooh,
big in
what?
the in 88s. These were called Dolly Surprise. Do you remember them?
Yes, of
Where the
course I
hair
remember the
grows,
Dolly Surprise.
like you can make their hair grow.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to look this up. I know that. Dolly Surprise.
Move her arm to change her hair from short
Oh,
and
yep.
sweet to long and lovely.
Yes.
And some of them have the ugliest hairdos. They look like they have a bob, but then a
And then with
ponytail.
like a ponytail. Yeah.
So it's like they
Oh,
have.
yeah. Oh, I totally had those. I don't think it wasn't a huge thing. Like, I mean, for me, I feel like my stuff was Cabbage Patch, uh, Rainbow Bright.
Mhm.
Those were huge to me.
Yeah.
So Dolly Surprise, I remember getting it just because it was one of those like satisfying things to
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
but it's not like I had a
Because you
collection. But
saw it
oh,
during,
I do
you saw a
remember.
commercial during the cartoons, and so you're like, oh, I have to have
Exactly.
one of
And I was
those.
like,
Yeah.
well, do you see how her hair grows?
Right. Well, according to the ghostsofthedoll.co.uk website, Dolly Surprise was produced by Playskool and Hasbro from 1987 to 1990. They were a line of 10-inch dolls with growing hair abilities. When her right arm was raised up, her ponytail would magically grow by over 3 inches. Her left arm, when raised up and down, would wind the ponytail back into her head. So it's
Yes.
like you could really fuck her up by just going like
You
that.
could just be like, oh my gosh, I do remember those.
Yeah, they're kind of ugly and
They're
scary.
really ugly, but they would have different colors. Like the ponytail would be all sorts of colors.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Oh,
So Dolly Surprise for you.
that just makes me feel good.
I also want to try something new. This is aside from our trivia of the day. I want to play a little guess the jingle.
Oh,
so I have two
okay.
jingles, and I want you to see if you can guess what these are for.
Okay. Are you singing them?
I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to say the words.
No.
So,
Fudge. Okay. I rely on the music. Go on.
your fresh breath goes on and on while you chew it.
You do is take a little longer, make it last a little long. With Big Red.
Yep. Okay. See if you can guess this one. I don't think I realized these were the words.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Take a sniff, pull it out.
What? No.
The taste is going to move you when you pop it in your mouth.
Oh. Oh my God. This is going to move you when you pop it and take a sniff, pull it out. Okay. I'm assuming it's well, Big Red was the gum. What gum was this?
Juicy fruit.
It was?
Yep.
Take
it's going to move you. I know. Take a sniff, pull it out. The taste is going to move you when you pop it in your mouth.
That is horrible. No wonder our generation was so fucked up. Oh my God.
I never realized. I mean, now that I played the commercial on YouTube, and I was like, yeah, those are the words.
Oh my gosh.
Dirty, juicy.
We fruit. never thought about that when we were kids.
Nope.
And I never would have. I think it's one of those, the Big Red jingle. I remember being at a PTA meeting, and I don't know why it came into my head. We were like at an awards night, and I was just like, man, there aren't jingles anymore. Have you guys noticed that? And I was like, I always remembered loving the Big Red one. And so how'd it go? And I just started, and it was like everything came back to me. But juicy fruit is not one. I don't think I've ever. Like when you heard the jingle, did it all come back to you?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, completely. Like when I heard,
I need to listen to that again.
Yeah. Now, if you're lucky enough to get a Happy Meal in October of 1988, you would have gotten a storybook Happy Meal featuring Jim Henson's Muppet Babies. Now, to the best of my Google ability, it looks as though there were 3 books. One was just Kermit and Me. The other was Baby Piggy, the Living Doll. And then we had The Legend of Gimme Gulch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gimme
Gulch. Yep. It was Fozzie Bear, Baby Fozzie, and Baby Kermit in that one.
Wow.
And because we were obsessed with this book series, I can't believe we haven't been covering this lately. They pretty much released a new book every month between October of 1983 and like the 90s. Sweet Valley High. I figure we can look at
Oh.
what book was released that month.
What book
We're
was
covering.
released?
So for this episode, it was number 50, Out of Reach.
But it was already.
Yeah. And what we missed was, so going back, the first episode that we did with Little Darlings was in the 80s. So they hadn't released yet. But Clue was in 1985. So that month it was the special Christmas, the first special edition.
I loved the specials.
And then for the Splash episode in 1984, the book that released that month was number 6, Dangerous Love, which we talked about on Why Is Everyone Staring at Us?
Oh my God. Was that the motorcycle accident?
Yep. And then for last week's episode in 1992, it would have been book 82, Kidnapped by the Cult. I never made it that far.
I made it all the way to 104. That is where I made it. Oh my gosh. And I'm really mad at myself and that included all of the specials, all of the sagas they did. Remember the sagas? Mm-hmm. God, I loved those. That included all of that. Yeah. I wish you could just pay one bulk price and have like access to every single Sweet Valley High book.
Right. Well, you can do the Kindle Unlimited, and they have all of them. It's like $10 a month, and you can get all of them. That's how I was reading them for. Yeah. And get them on your Kindle app. It's like $10 a month. And I think you get 2 months free when you sign up.
Nice.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this week it was book 50, Out of Reach. Okay. So before we take our first break and jump into the movie, and do a little Mad Lib. It's your turn.
Oh, yay. Okay. Oh, I love this. I kind of remember what adjectives and verbs are. Go.
So this one is titled Let's Wrestle.
Okay. Let's.
So I need a noun.
Noun. Printer.
And a part of the body.
Pinky toe.
And plural noun.
Clocks.
A number.
93.5.
A verb ending in ing.
Ooh. Skating.
A noun.
A noun. Bike.
A letter of the alphabet.
Q.
Part of the body.
Right labia. Yep, that's what I want. That lip.
Noun.
Noun. Let's go with a banana.
A part of the body.
I mean, do I go with the left? No, I don't. Belly button.
A plural noun.
Pencils.
An animal.
Snow leopard.
A noun.
My goodness. Book.
An adjective.
Bright.
A country.
Let's go with Ireland.
A number.
24.2.
And article of clothing.
Bra.
Okay. So here we go.
I'm so excited.
I've just returned from WrestleMania hosted by the World Wrestling Printer, and my pinky toe is blown. You wouldn't believe the massive clocks I saw You wouldn't believe the massive clocks I saw throwing down in the ring. The arena was packed with 93.5 fans who were all cheering and skating. I watched Bike Hogan and Mr. Q go head to right labia with a duo of bad guys. They smashed a banana over one guy's belly button. After the show, the wrestlers signed pencils for all their fans. I got to meet my favorite wrestlers, Junkyard Snow Leopard and Andre the Book. I heard WrestleMania was so bright, they're going to do another one in Ireland. I would travel 24.2 miles to see these athletes in the ring again. Thankfully, I bought an official bra to remember this day forever.
Oh, I like them smashing bananas over their belly buttons.
And
bad little bitches.
What did he do? He went
head over right labia.
Head to right labia with a duo of bad guys.
That's what I'm going to say from now on.
All
There's
right.
a line. One thing I decided to say from now on. Well, now it's head over right labia. The next thing I'm going to say in To Kill a Mockingbird, one of the lines was this woman, like this little girl scout, says hi to this woman, and the woman goes, "Don't you say hi to me, you ugly girl." I really want to start saying that to people.
I think you should. It'll keep them away from you, that's for sure. All right, we're going to take a break here in a minute, but before we do that, let's look at the top 10 movies of that week. So going into the week when our movie opened, so it would have been the weekend before, at number 10, we had Big. It was up from number 13. At number 9, we had Cocktail, which had been on the charts forever. At number 8,
I love that movie.
Number 8, we had Die Hard. At number 7 was Who Framed Roger Rabbit. At number 6, Crossing Delancey. Never saw that.
I've never even heard of that.
And number 5, A Fish Called Wanda, which I love.
Oh, that's a good one.
Number 4, Gorillas in the Mist.
Never saw it.
Me either. Number 3 was Punchline. I vaguely remember that one. Sally Field and someone, they were stand-up comics, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw it.
I never saw it.
And number 2 was Alien Nation. I remember hearing about it, but I never saw it. And then a number 1 was The Accused.
Oh, God.
That was fucking brutal.
Oh, that was heavy.
Right. Yeah, it opened that week. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll jump into movie talk. Mystic Pizza charts the lives and loves of 3 unforgettable waitresses in a little town called Mystic. For sexy Daisy Arujo, her sensible sister Kat, and their wisecracking friend Jojo, the summer after high school is a summer they'll never forget. Slinging pizza at a local restaurant, the 3 girls share their hopes, dreams, and plans for escaping their small town. Jojo was supposed to marry her longtime boyfriend at the beginning of the summer, but she got cold feet at the last minute. Is she really ready to settle down? Daisy has her sights set on a preppy, cool, rich guy she met at a bar, but is she classy enough for him and his wealthy family? Kat works as a nanny for an architect whose wife is in Europe for the summer. Kat has always said she doesn't have time for a boyfriend, but the handsome architect will test her boundaries. Now, as I mentioned, Mystic Pizza was released on October 21st, 1988, which conflicts with Rotten Tomatoes. They claim it came out on October 14th, but all the other sources say the 21st. So
maybe it was just like a premiere, kind of like New York, LA premiere kind of thing.
Other movies that opened this week included Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. It debuted at number 1 that week. We also had Without a Clue. Don't know what that is. Bat 21. No idea.
Okay.
Things Change. No idea.
What is happening?
Tapeheads. No idea.
No.
And Lair of the White Worm, which I vaguely remember hearing about that.
What is going on?
I think it was some sort of horror movie I never saw.
Okay.
And then our movie, Mystic Pizza, debuted at number 7.
Nice.
So it's rated R, has a runtime of 1 hour and 42 minutes, and has a 78% Rotten Tomatoes critic score, but only 54% audience score. Which I don't understand.
Why?
I don't know. I saw one person's review, and I don't know if they're serious or not. They gave it a 1 star and they wrote, Paul Rudd was not in this movie.
Oh my God.
What made you think he was going to be?
What?
And had he been in that movie, would it have been better?
Was he supposed to be in that movie?
Right. So I don't know if they were like being a smart ass.
Stupid dickheads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. I love this movie.
I forgot how much I love this movie.
Yeah. I hadn't watched it in several years, probably at least 10 years since I last saw it.
Minimum. Yeah.
And I was like, why haven't I watched this since then? Because I loved it.
So good.
So much. So much.
It's good and it's funny.
It's funny and it's touching. It has some really great moments between the friends, I thought.
Yes.
And the cast, I feel like, is absolutely perfect.
I loved this cast.
Stars Lily Taylor.
Those 3 women were perfect. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lily Taylor as JoJo. She currently stars in Outer Range with Josh Brolin. Back in the day, she was also in Say Anything. I really remember her from 6 Feet Under.
Oh, yes. She was Nate's wife.
Yeah, who got killed by the serial killer.
By the serial killer.
And of course, The Conjuring, if you're a horror movie fan like we are. Then we had Annabeth Gish as Kat. She is currently in The Mayfair Witches. She was also in Midnight Mass and Haunting of Hill House recently. She was in The X-Files. She replaced Scully for a while. She was also in Shag back in the day, which was another favorite movie of my friend Lisa's for sure, with Phoebe Cates and Bridget Fonda.
Love Phoebe Cates.
And then we had Julia Roberts as her sister, as Kat's sister, Daisy. This was one of Julia's first movies. She had also been in the Justine Bateman-led Satisfaction about a girl band, which released on February 12th of that year.
Oh, girl, I remember that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that probably since I first saw it on HBO back in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was also in an HBO movie led by Leslie Ann Warren titled Baja, Oklahoma. And I think she played Leslie Ann Warren's daughter, Candy, in that.
Okay.
But she's since gone on to win.
Hello. It's Julia Roberts. We all know who she is.
This also co-starred Vincent D'Onofrio as JoJo's fiance, Bill.
So cute when he was younger. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Totally forgot the hotness.
Mm-hmm. We had William R. Moses as Tim, the man Kat nannies for. And then Adam Stork played Charlie, Daisy's rich boy toy. And then Conchata Ferrell of 2.5 Men fame as Leona, the owner of the Mystic Pizza restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
This was directed by Donald Petrie. When looking at IMDb, it looks as though this was his first feature film. He had done some TV series and movies before this. He would go on to direct some other fun ones, such as Miss Congeniality, Grumpy Old Men, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. The story and screenplay was written by Amy Holden Jones, who also wrote Indecent Proposal, as well as several others. And then Randy and Perry Housey, who also wrote the Sybil Shepherd, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan O'Neal movie, Chances Are, which I completely forgot about.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that one.
And the Ali Sheedy-led Made to Order. Also forgot about that one. And Amy Holden Jones had also collaborated with them on Made to Order.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Ebert gave the movie a thumbs up, and his review started with, and I quote, "There is a certain breathlessness about the summer after high school, which Mystic Pizza captures with an effortless charm."
Oh, I would agree. I love that.
So you had seen this before.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember when you first saw it?
I know I saw it when it came out. I mean, I absolutely remember seeing it when it came out. And I remember, I just remember looking at Julia Roberts' hair and being like, how does one get that hair? Because her hair is like a character in itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. But the way I looked at it back in 1988, like totally rooted for the hot dad and Kat to get together. That's so messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Totally rooted for Daisy and Charlie, is that his name? The rich guy?
I think so. Yeah.
Rooted for them. I loved JoJo and Vincent D'Onofrio. I thought they were adorable.
Mm-hmm.
But I was drawn much more to like the destructive, toxic, terrible relationships. Like even back then, and looking at it now that I have a little more life behind me, I'm like, Oh my gosh. No wonder our generation was so messed up.
Yeah.
When it came to romance stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, Sweet Valley High. And
hello.
this, I mean, I
Oh my
remember watching
gosh.
it on cable because we had our satellite dish by then. So it would have been, a year roughly. So like 89 when I first saw it
Mhm.
on HBO or something. And I watched it on a whim. I loved it, but I too was like you. I was seeing it through the lens of these young girls, and why isn't everything working out the way they want it to? Especially for
Yeah.
Kat, because I could see
Yeah.
like her character. Of course, she's gonna fall for him, and he kissed her, so of course he wants to be with her.
Obviously,
I
he's in
mean,
love with her.
I felt her devastation when she
Yes.
goes back to the house and the wife's there,
Yes.
returned from Europe
But
after they
nice
just
way to
made
keep
out.
the secret, y'all, as they both
Right.
like stare each other down.
Right.
Y'all. Oh
Yep.
my
I was like,
God.
she totally knows something's going down
Absolutely,
here.
she
Like, if
knew.
she doesn't, then she is stupid.
Right. Exactly.
So, what did you think differently this time around watching it versus?
I think I was just able to see more of like in that era of our lives, I feel like we tried so hard to be what other people needed or wanted us to be. We tried so
Mm-hmm.
hard to fit into these boxes. And so, honestly, when I was watching it, like, of course, Daisy was in the box where she wasn't going to go off to school. She was going to be slinging pizzas the rest of her life. She was in
Mm-hmm.
that box,
Right.
And Kat, of course, was in the box where, she's going to be successful. She's going to, go off to a great college. She's going to have all of her shit together. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it made me a little sad watching it this time, just kind of remembering. I mean, I was always put into that musical theater box. Like, of course
Mm-hmm.
I was going to do theater, but
Right.
in reality, I didn't want to do that,
Right. Right.
So I feel like that is a big part of our generation where we were really like, now we're all like, explore, be
Mm-hmm.
who you want to be, bang your own drum. We're all for supporting diversity of any kind. And back then we just were not.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, that's what like kept going through my head was just like, there is like, I love what Ebert said about this breathlessness at the end of the high school,
Mm-hmm.
your final high school year, and just the possibility of like what's to come. But unfortunately, we did like get trapped in these little boxes.
And the thing
My
is,
God, I hate child actors. Can we also just say
yeah, that little Phoebe girl was
she was
horrible.
no Emma in Hand That Rocks the
No,
Cradle.
she was not.
Okay.
Like at the point where JoJo's babysitting for her and she falls asleep with her witch costume on and she takes the mask off and she's pretending to be asleep, but her eyes are half open and her mouth's wide open.
So dumb. I can't. People learn how to direct children, and children don't be dumb.
Right. What I was confusing to me though is that so going into this, I never thought until now, like it's a summer after high school, but whose summer? Because Daisy and Kat weren't twins.
No,
And
call.
Daisy says at one point, I noticed it this time. She was like at the top of the movie, she says something about her feet were killing her. She's like, can you imagine Corns at 20? So
Okay.
he was probably
so
at least a year older than Kat. And Kat had obviously just graduated high school and she was taking a semester off before she went to Yale. Like she established that.
So it was really no one's summer.
So it was, and it was like summer into fall for Kat. Yeah. I'm not sure where JoJo fell into that. If she was the same age as Kat and then Daisy was a year older than them. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. They were close enough. It doesn't matter,
but it was definitely a period of time where they had the time to be together. So right. I feel like that was really dependent on Kat. Mm-hmm. It was her summer.
Right. But I also remember, like now looking back, I can see why I identified with the girls so much because I was stuck in a small town and was, my parents really, really, really wanted me to go into this box of, blue collar, stay at home, and stay in my hometown, be straight. And none of that was happening for me. And I could not wait to get out, but I didn't really know how.
Yeah.
So I think I could really relate to JoJo in that she's like, everybody's telling me like I'm supposed to get married. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's what she had gone to. And then when her and Bill break up, and he basically breaks up with her, but then she goes back to the pizza shop and says, well, I broke up with Bill, because she couldn't fathom that he had broken up with her and taken
Right.
away from her everything that she thought she was supposed to be.
Right.
And so she's going through and she's trying to figure out, well, now what do I do? Because now I
Yeah.
no longer have this. So she has that monologue, which I thought was brilliant, when she goes into work and she's not supposed to be there. She starts setting the
Right.
tables, she's taking the chairs down, and she's like, okay, so, I can go to school and I can take that class for what's it called? Economics. And then Leona, when you retire, I can take over the pizza shop for you. Like she's scrambling because
Yeah.
she never knew that she had other options than getting
Yeah.
married.
Yeah. And how many of us can't relate to that? I mean, where you've had a breakup or any sort of major change in your life where it's then like, oh crap,
Mm-hmm.
how do I wake up tomorrow and do this again? How do I function at this point going forward? Because this is not what was in the plan,
Right.
which that's
Yeah.
when those little boxes can be very comforting.
Mm-hmm. So did you have these types of friendships back then?
I definitely had the friendships where it was like unwavering support,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, I definitely did not have that sibling relationship. That is
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But I do love that with these three, they are very honest with each other
Mm-hmm.
and ask the harder questions for the
Mm-hmm.
other one to face. And I love that the other one accepts what they're asking and there's not a whole lot of getting offended or anything like that. I mean, they
Right.
fight,
Oh, yeah.
but not because of anyone questioning really what they're doing. Like I don't think Kat and Daisy would have fought, if it hadn't fucked up Kat's night or Daisy's night.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When she
I don't think
slaps
they would
her
have
and she's like,
fought anyway.
wipe your conscience.
Ooh, damn, girl. That was a good
Yeah.
fight scene.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
really
The dialogue
good.
was really good in this movie.
Was.
Yeah.
It was. But yeah, there was that support but honestly, I didn't have a lot of like girlfriends
Mm-hmm.
at those younger ages. And especially like when I got into high school and stuff, I had very few,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had friends in high school, none that I was super close with. Like no one that would have made me think, well, maybe I do want to stay in my hometown. I was ready to get out of there. I think I can see this happening not after high school for me, but after college.
Yeah.
Because my friends Lisa and Jeanette and I were super close, super, super tight, like that whole last year. And I wasn't one to have just one small friend group. I had several larger friend groups that occasionally they intermix, but like I had my friends that I was on the dance team with. And then I had my friends that I was in the health promotion and education group with. And then I had my other friends that I had met at the dorm that we just continued our friendship.
Right.
So, but I lived with my friend Lisa. We had a duplex and Lisa and I lived up top. And then Jeanette and this other girl lived in the one below us, but we did everything together. So when I left, it was like a big life change.
Right.
And so I could see this in my last year of college or the few months before I moved and left Oregon for Texas with Lisa and Jeanette. Not so much in high school though.
Yeah. I could see it probably. I mean, as far as the chemistry and support between the girls, honestly, I would say I'd see that more in my 30s. Because I didn't have girlfriends. I had some really great guy friends that I kept very, very close to me. And I would say that those were my, those were my people. But I wasn't ever like a girl's girl. I just wasn't.
Yeah. So
and I hate that now that I'm looking back. I hate it.
Who did you most relate to of the three girls?
Oh, of the three girls, I was going to say the mom, Mrs. Arujo or whatever. Totally related to her. Of the three girls, I don't know. I was thinking about that because it's kind of like Sex in the City where you see yourself, a little bit of yourself in everyone. But I would say mostly probably Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could totally see myself filling a car with fish because he pissed me off, just kind of, flying off the handle and her kind of temperament. I think I definitely have.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's an obvious survivor. Like, she's going to figure the shit out, and I've always kind of felt that way, that like, I'm not going to be homeless under a bridge. Like, I'm going to figure my shit out as I go along.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be late to the party, but I feel that same way about her. But, she'll get it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Back in the day, I would have been more cat.
Totally,
because for a while I had no direction. And then all of a sudden it was like, no, I can get out of here. Like, I don't know what else there is out there, but there's something out there. It's not here. So I can get out of here. So I was very driven on doing really good in high school, because my first year of high school, I did shitty. Like, I had shitty grades because I just didn't care. But then I realized, no, I need to apply myself, because that's the only way I'm going to get the fuck out of here is by going to college. And I'm not going to be able to get into a college without good grades. And I'm going to need scholarships because my parents can't afford to send me to college. And I don't want to take out a bunch of loans. So I was very driven, very focused on school and what do I need to do to get out of here and get to college. So definitely cat. Looking at it now, I still have
Mrs. Arujo as well, aren't you?
If I'm looking just at the girls, I still have the driven, like, focus of cat, but I also have sometimes in some areas, the aimlessness of JoJo. It's like, she's not really anchored and she's not really sure what tomorrow holds, but she just kind of goes for it.
Yeah.
But I also have a no bullshit attitude, like Daisy now.
Yeah.
Where I have Daisy's voice. I didn't used to have that, but now I've learned to, like, respect myself and demand respect for myself, because I used to let people walk over me so much. And now I'm like at the other extent where it's like, you're not even going to get a toe to walk over me. Like, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to not do this. So yeah, I think like you said, right now I can see myself in all of them.
Yeah.
But back then it was definitely more cat.
You were totally cat. Yeah. And even back then, I would probably say more JoJo on my end. But as I've gotten older, definitely more Daisy.
Yeah.
This makes perfect sense why we're friends.
It does. So some fun facts about the movie. It was filmed in Mystic, Connecticut, which is a real place.
Oh.
And there is a restaurant called Mystic Pizza.
That was there before the movie?
Yep.
Oh, I love that.
I know where I need to go take a vacation.
Seriously.
They still have a website. It's still open. They have a tagline. I love it. It reads, "The pizza that made the movie famous." And according to their website, the restaurant opened in 1973, and they credit a secret recipe to their success, so much like Leona in Mystic Pizza. The screenwriter, Amy Jones, visited the restaurant one summer and got the idea for the movie. And then after the movie came out, the real Mystic Pizza shop became so popular, they had lines stretching around the sidewalk. And patrons would regularly go in and steal mementos like menus and glasses from the restaurant just to have a piece of that.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
But
I would totally be one of those people.
Right. So I really, really, really want to go to Connecticut anyway. But
we need to go up there for like the change of seasons and stuff. Like, go for the fall colors.
Yep.
And then
after all of the tourists are out, like they've gone, so it won't be super crowded. So we'll have all the people to contend with, and we can just explore Mystic.
Oh, that'd be so much. I would love to live in a place called Mystic.
Ooh.
But
the Mystic Pizza restaurant in the real one was not where the movie was filmed. They only shot one scene of the movie. Was filmed in Mystic Village. It was the scene where the fishing boat was going through the drawbridge, where I think JoJo was yelling at Bill because he put Nympho on the boat.
Yes.
And they got in that fight, and she told him off and basically stood up for herself for probably the first time.
It's the 80s. I don't need to marry an asshole.
So evidently that was filmed in Mystic.
Okay.
but it's a popular tourist destination, so it would have been too crowded for filming the movie. So they filmed the movie in a sleepy neighboring town called Stonington. And then they used a business on Water Street for restaurant filming. And in the early part of the movie, there's a scene where a pizza is being delivered via a motor scooter. And they go past the town green where the two old cannons are on display. And I guess that's also from Mystic.
Okay.
But then they also filmed some parts in Rhode Island. So another fun fact, this was the debut theatrical feature film of actor-writer Matt Damon.
I love that. Oh, yes. I mean,
Steamer
my God,
or something is what they called him.
Steamer.
Yeah, he was Charlie's.
Steamer. Oh, my God. That
little...
doesn't scream like 80s wealth. Come on.
Right. But John Cunningham, who played his dad, and this was also his father in School Ties.
What? I did not realize that.
Yep. Another fun fact, Julia Roberts originally auditioned for the part of JoJo instead of Daisy. I can't see her.
No.
As JoJo.
Depends. I guess it would depend on who they cast as Daisy, but no, she's totally a Daisy.
Yeah. Well, Gloria Estefan was offered the role of Daisy, but she felt as though she wasn't ready to be an actress at the time, so she turned it down.
Okay, I'm glad she did.
Right. And I don't know how.
I love her, but I'm glad she did.
I do too. I don't know that I could see her. I mean, it's not that Julia Roberts and Annabeth Gish look like sisters, but I don't know that I see Gloria Estefan and Annabeth Gish as sisters either.
I feel like that was such a gimmick back then that you can't take the movies seriously when they would have the pop stars in. It's not like now where they truly, like, Lady Gaga is actually a really great actress and also is a really great singer, you know? I feel like J-Lo is the first one that kind of started to help that crossover a little bit. But that would have just been, and that would have ruined the movie. The movie, this shouldn't be a gimmicky movie at all.
There was a sequel called Return to Mystic Pizza that was in development after the success of this movie in the early 90s, but it never went anywhere.
Thank God. Leave it alone.
And then one more fun fact was Conchata Ferrell, who played the pizza shop owner, was also in Erin Brockovich with Julia Roberts in 2000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Oh, well, my God. And then Matt Damon and Julia Roberts have done a million things together.
Yep.
That's so much fun. I love those, like, small world things. You know, it's so cool.
All right, let's take another break and then we'll come back for some more chit chat.
Okay.
So, what was your favorite scene in the movie?
I mean, honestly, I loved the bar scene with the darts.
Yeah.
And the tequila shots and then the pool. And she's like, I know what you are. You're a hustler. You know, dumbass. I loved that. I loved the argument with Kat and Daisy. Thought that was awesome. All of the scenes with Kat and the hot dad were so cringy. But I remember I used to love when they were looking out through the telescope. I do not anymore. I think it's just so cringy. And then when they're at the country club and they see him having, like, before the fish and all that, reminded me a lot of Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yep. You
know, it reminded me a lot of that. So I think those were, like, my favorite moments in it.
Yeah. I loved when they were at the country club and they looked in and Kat was trying to get them to leave. And then Julia Roberts sees him with that other girl who she assumes is someone else that he's dating. And she jumps in Bill's truck and backs up to his Porsche and tips those buckets of fish into the open. Yeah.
Into his convertible.
My car.
And then she's like, what is he? He says something. Oh, like he wasn't mad about her doing this or whatever. And she was like, you're weird. I'm weird. Like, gestures back to the car.
Well, like, she goes, I fucked up. And he goes, yeah, but you gave it 100% effort.
You gave it 100% effort.
He's like, you're weird.
That's right.
I also really, really love that scene I mentioned earlier where JoJo and Bill break up and she has that monologue while she's at the pizza shop and she's trying to tell herself that everything's going to be okay. You know, it showed you that up until then, again, that she saw Bill in her future, and the thought of not having him in her life really threw her. And now the rest of them noticed, like, right now, we can't go up to her and tell her that everything's going to be okay. We can't try to, placate this. No. We need to let her think that, yep, this is exactly how things are going to go. Mm-hmm. When Leona's like, you're talking about taking over my pizza shop, bitch. I ain't dying yet, but okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
That definitely can happen.
Yep.
Yeah, that was, God, they were all so good in this.
And then I love the very, very end scene too, where they're all out together. I thought it was the perfect ending of the movie.
Yes.
When they're sitting out there.
What does she put in the pizza?
Yeah. Jojo says, you know what, I wonder. And Daisy says, what? What the hell do you think Leona really puts in that pizza?
Yeah. It's called crack, Jojo.
Right.
It's called crack.
Favorite quotes. Did you have any?
I loved that one. Hold on. I wrote it down just because it was like, I love the way she delivered it. Oh, it was Daisy saying, Jesus Christ, these shoes are killing me. Mm-hmm. And Leona saying, Daisy, do you have to talk like that? And she goes, I'm sorry. I meant to say these fucking shoes are killing me. I just loved that. Love that. But that was really like, this movie wasn't a whole lot of, like, it's hard to think of this movie and think of any quotes from it.
Right. I like the one where Bill was like, I'm telling you, I love you, and all you love is my dick. Do you know how that makes me feel?
Poor Bill. He was such like I just want to be like married and happy kind of guy.
But then I can also see where she was like, you just want me to have your babies. Like, yeah, I'm not ready to settle down.
Go to this next chapter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm not ready, because she has this friendship and she's young and fun. And now to settle down and get married.
Yeah.
She's going to become he wants her to be a mom, and that's where all of her time's going to be from, the time she's 20 on. So,
yep.
So which of the three guys would you have gone for?
Would I have gone for now?
Back then,
I would have gone for the older guy.
See, I think I would have gone for Bill.
Yeah, I would never have gone for Bill.
Mm-hmm. See, I think I would have found safety in the older guy, because I didn't trust anyone that was like in their teens or 20s when I was that old.
Right.
They needed to be out and established, because like I said, I just didn't trust.
We all needed that father figure.
Right. But then I think in college, had I watched this, I would be like, oh yeah, I totally would have been 100% down for Bill.
I feel like I would have gone for what's his face, the preppy one, Charlie.
Really? Yeah.
I think I would have, only because I would have been like, okay, the older guy was a dick. They'll never leave. I mean, what movie is that? Oh, and When Harry Met Sally, she's constantly like, he's not going to leave his wife. Like, they're never going to leave the wife.
Yeah.
And you're right. I know you're right. So like, I would have gotten fucked over by the older one. And then I think I would have immediately wanted to at least go to financial security.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have entered my head. I feel like Bill, I don't know, he was too much of a good guy, like too much of a good, hardworking, I'm going to love you and show it to you guy. And that would have been like, oh, well, I mean, I don't want like healthy. That's weird. I feel like I would have been like that.
Yeah. See, and for me, I would have seen, oh, well, this is stability, because I hadn't really had that.
Right.
Like, you accept me for who I am, and there's stability here. Mm-hmm. That's all I need. Because I feel like
the older one, I would go for whoever was completely wrong for me. Because it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm not going to have the stability anyway. You're too nice. Because I mean, there was the nice guy in high school that I should have gone with. I should have been with him, and I wasn't. So there was that guy who would be the Bill. And then there's the rich preppy guy who I totally did date in high school. And there was the older guy who totally fucked me over. Like, so yeah, it should have been Bill. Bill, I think, is the healthy one out of all of these three men. That is the one that we should strive to be with.
Yeah.
Because he also, like, yes, it bugged him that JoJo wasn't like, jumping on that train, but he still loved her and still wanted to be with her. And, he was still there. So
Yeah.
he's the healthy one we should all be going for.
Yeah. In the end, I think. And I feel like too, she needed that time because it's perfect because they're all kind of going off. I mean, Kat's finally going off to college.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what Daisy's going to do? I mean, her and Charlie, she put him to, he's scooping ice cream. So he came back to grovel. So it looks like they're probably going to work out all right.
And good for him.
And so
that does happen and it lasts for about a week and then they go back to being assholes. So just warning.
Yeah. Any other scenes that stood out to you that you really liked? I mean, there were so many moments and I didn't write them all down.
Yeah.
But this just from beginning to end.
Oh, I was going to say, honestly, Odell, this was like as a whole. I love this movie. I forgot how much I love this movie. And this is also a movie that I think has stood the test of time. Like, I think it's good now that I could show my daughters this and they'd be like, oh, that's a good movie. And it was great then. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not 80s cheese.
No, not at all.
Or even 90s cheese, because there are plenty of coming of age movies in the 90s. And I'm like, okay, you were just basically recreating something from the 80s and putting a 90s spin on it,
Yes.
So it didn't make it better. But this one, I feel like, is a good, legit movie. Do you agree with the R rating?
No.
I know. I can't. I'm like, what in this?
PG-13, I could understand that.
Yeah, but I think even today,
is it just because of the F-bombs?
I think so, but I feel like that would even make a PG rating today.
Yeah, I could see it PG-13 just because of the F-bombs, because I could see that, not R for sure.
No, there's no nudity. There's no sex
There's
scenes
no sex.
either.
There's no... I didn't realize it had an R rate. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
I would have figured PG or PG. The only reason I say PG-13 is because I had that quote down that had the F-bomb. It's the only reason I would see they would even put that. Okay. No, it does not deserve that.
All right. So last thing here, first line, last line. The first line of the movie was "Be seated," because we're at the wedding.
Okay, we're at the wedding.
Of JoJo and Bill when it first starts before she passes out.
Right.
And then the last line is, "What the hell do you think Leona really puts in that pizza?"
That's a great last line.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's a lot better than "Oh boy."
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Agreed.
Yeah, you were almost just killed, buddy, but oh boy. Okay.
Oh boy, I get to hold a baby. All right. That's all I have on this movie, unless there's anything else you want to
No, I mean, everyone should see it. It's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max as of right now. I watched it on Wednesday, and yesterday I thought, you know what? I might watch this again. I didn't get around to it, but I will definitely be watching it again. It's definitely
this will be
a keeper.
When my girls want to watch movies from the 80s, every once in a while they do. This is going to be one that I'm going to throw out there, because they loved, like, girls just want to have fun. And a lot of this reminded me, especially with the friendships of that movie. So I think they'd love this one.
All right. Well, it's trivia time on my list, and I didn't pick. Hold up. I forgot. Oh, look. I also brought this out.
Oh, God, I remember that one.
Okay.
So good.
I'm just picking one. Probably be the easiest questions in the world.
I hope so.
Let me get the timer. All right, you ready?
Okay.
See if I can read this. In 1980, following the suicide death of their lead singer, what new synth pop and alternative dance band formed from the remaining members of Joy Division?
Shh. Joy, no, it's not in excess.
No, it was
Joy
New
Division.
Order.
Oh, of course.
All right.
Okay.
On July 10th, 1985, the Greenpeace ship Rainbow Warrior was sunk in a port in a pair of explosions that killed a photographer still on board, an action that later found to be conducted by special forces from what European country?
What European country? This was the Ireland, Scotland, Russia.
3 is the max you can get.
Okay.
It was France.
Stupid France.
I know. That's surprising because you usually don't hear about them doing.
No, like they're not
aggressive.
those people.
All right. What sitcom based in a Manhattan municipal court and starring comedian and magician Harry
Come
Anderson?
on. Don't even put on the
Yeah.
timer. Night Court.
Yes. Okay, you got one.
One of the greatest.
All right. Lastly, in what? I know. I guess you have one more after this. I just need to
Yes,
pick
I
another
do.
card. In what 1987 romantic comedy does the widowed Loretta Castorini accept the proposal of Johnny Cameron, then fall in love with his estranged younger brother, Ronnie?
Moonstruck.
Yes. I've never seen that movie.
That movie's so good. It's a really great movie.
Got two from there. Last one. What sneaker slogan did Portland, Oregon what is that? Adman? Oh, Adman. I was like, what's an admin? Okay. What sneaker slogan did Portland, Oregon adman Dan Wyden famously dream up in 1988?
Just do it. Nike, just do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. You got three.
No, just two. Just two. Oh, no, you're right. I did get three. Because you said two from that one. Yeah. And then I got this last one.
Yeah.
Hey, you're right. Am I still winning?
Oh, you're still ahead. I've got I only have 3 points. All right. Okay. So now it's time to spin the wheel before we sign off to pick my movie in 2 weeks. Next week, we'll be doing Madonna's Truth or Dare, the documentary, which I'm super excited about because I've not seen it. You get to choose. You have so many good songs to choose from since, you can actually pick from the movie this time.
And it doesn't have to be that year.
No, sometime in that decade. So
hello, I will be fine.
So anything
Good
from the
God,
80s. Yeah, which she didn't come out until the 80s. So
all right. I just shuffled it 3 times.
All right. So spin.
I'm spinning.
And by the way, listeners, I've chosen the years 1993 to 1995 this time.
Yes. We have I Love Trouble.
Oh, God. Julia Roberts and Nick Nolte, right?
Yes. Why did you even put that on the list? Okay. Now I remove that, right?
Yep.
And shuffle again.
Okay, I'll remember these. Okay. I Love Trouble. Okay.
I Love Trouble. Are you writing these down?
I'm typing them up.
Okay. Next one. So, no. Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Oh, God.
That's a great one. Okay. Last one. My favorites, 7.
7. Ooh, let's watch 7. I haven't watched that in forever. And we haven't done a horror yet.
That's weirdly one that I watch way too many times to be healthy.
I have not seen that since at least the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh my God. I watched that just a couple weeks ago. That is a movie I literally will get out all the time. Be oh God, I need something good to fall asleep to. 7. 7. Sounds good. Weird. Soothing.
Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater when it first came out, and I'll tell you the story all about it because my friend Leaf and I almost got asked to leave the theater. We got those scared giggles. When you get scared and you don't know what to do and you start giggling. And the theater was packed and people were pissed at us. So yeah, all right. So next week, Madonna's Truth or Dare. Cannot wait to watch that again this week.
Not either.
And then in 2 weeks, we'll be back with the horror movie. Is it considered horror or thriller?
Thriller.
7.
Yes.
Can't wait. All right. Thanks, y'all, for being here. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. Please be sure to tell all of your friends about us, especially any fellow Gen Xers.
And don't forget to follow us on social media and your favorite podcast app. And be sure you're set to auto download so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star rating.
Don't forget to visit backwherewebelong.com to gain access to our ultimate playlists, pick up some merch, and do a deeper dive into all of our episodes. Thanks again.
We'll see you next week.